guys, so we are here today to talk about Nikocado Avocado. People have been coming for Nikocado Avocado recently, and like, while I do understand criticism for him, I do think that there are some underlying issues we need to discuss, and like, I'm really like not here for us trying to just deplatform creators and content that we just like don't like, and I think it's pretty sketchy and weird, and I want to talk about it. And I don't think a lot of people are gonna like what I have to say because I'm gonna call you guys fatphobic, and I know you fucking skinny people hate that shit, but we're doing it today. Get ready. So before I get into this video, subscribe to my channel. I upload twice a week. You should stick around for some more commentary videos, and let's get into it. So if you don't know, Nikocado Avocado is a mukbang channel. He used to be strictly vegan, and then he stopped being vegan because he says that he was very unhealthy when he was vegan. And he kind of got into the mukbang community right when it was taking off. I personally don't watch his content, and I only really knew about him based on his dramas with Stephanie So and Trisha Paytas, but he like came into mukbang at the perfect time, and he has the most ridiculous thumbnails, and he's known for eating like massive amounts of food. And throughout his mukbang journey, he has gained weight, and that has made people feel a kind of way that makes me want to hit you all. But we'll get there. And also, on top of all of that, Nikocado Avocado is like a grating personality. He's like, it's hard to understand whether or not Nikocado Avocado is like a real person or if this is a character he's putting on. He's definitely 100% also a troll. Like, he has admitted to being a troll, and he has talked about being a troll, and he understands how to use clickbait to his advantage. And I can understand like critiquing his dramas and some of his like things he has said and his clickbaitness and like critiquing that. But I think that like calls for deplatforming is a little bit extreme, and so I wanted to talk about that today because both PewDiePie and Reifenstein have put up videos on Nikocado Avocado recently, and they really rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like it. So we're gonna talk about it. It's gonna get uncomfortable. Get ready. So let's start with PewDiePie's video because it's like less offensive. It was Reifenstein's video, and it less calls for deplatforming. So most recently, PewDiePie put a video called like I Hate Mukbangs, and so he talked about some other YouTubers where he was talking about them like eating like live sea creatures in the videos. So these other mukbangers in this video are eating like live sea creatures. I don't know if it's like a cultural thing, so like I don't really want to commentate on it because the people in the video were Asian. And I know that mukbang is a huge tradition in Korea. So like, I don't know. But then he goes on to Nikocado Avocado, and the main part in the video that upset me was, first of all, he says that Nikocado Avocado is promoting obesity. And like, I really hate when we just like decide that fat people existing is promoting obesity. Like, people say the same shit about body positive bloggers and influencers, and I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. And it's just like, and then he follows it up by saying like, well, I mean, I know Nikocado Avocado specifically himself has never advocated for it, but still there's like young impressionable people watching your content, which is like funny coming from Felix, who I know has been in so many scandals for saying so many offensive things, including the N-word with like, I'm pretty sure a hard R, but okay, yeah. Fat people are the ones who are negatively influencing their audiences. Sure, Felix. Listen, I'm not a PewDiePie fan either. I've never really watched his content, but I have heard of his scandals. And Nikocado Avocado makes an interesting point in his, because he did a response video where he was like, remember when Adpocalypse hit because PewDiePie said a bunch of anti-Semitic shit on the line, and then like every advertiser pulled out and the rest of YouTube had to deal with it, but like, you're upset about me being fat? Okay, sure. It's just like, I mean, it is kind of the pot calling the kettle black. And also, it's just like, stop saying that fat people existing is promoting obesity. Nikocado Avocado has never once said like, yes, you should be like me, eat like me, I love that. Yes, he like makes a joke out of it. And like I said, he is a fucking troll. He has like merch that says like, I don't believe in salads, which I think is funny because nobody likes salads. And what's even more funny is that like, as a society. Like when skinny girls are sitting around with like a pizza and wings and beers, they're like goals and like, oh my God, a mood. But when a fat person does it, it's like you're promoting obesity and you're disgusting. Let me tell you something. Unhealthy food is unhealthy no matter who ingests it. The reason we get upset when fat people do it is because of our internalized fat phobia. Google it. It's literally free. We live in a society that demonizes fat people, and that's fucked up. And that is what's happening here. Saying that Nikocado Avocado is promoting obesity when not saying that other mukbangers aren't promoting an unhealthy living is fucked up. Also, in Felix's video, he dances around the fact that like he doesn't want mukbang channels to be deplatformed, but then says like, I don't know why they exist though. Like, I don't really want to like say they should be deplatformed, but like also like, why are they on the channel? Thinking about all the other things that get taken down on YouTube and like, this is okay. And it's like, bruh, say it with your fucking chest. If you want them gone, say you want them gone. If you don't want them gone, then shut up about it. Because like Nikocado said, why are you bringing it up if you don't actually care? If you don't want something done about it, like, if you want to make a video about how you think mukbangs are gross, okay, fine. But it kind of feels like you want them to be gone, but you don't know how to say it. And also, like, promoting obesity is, like, weak. Also, the whole, like, impressionable children are watching this stuff. Like, I am a strong believer that it's not a content creator's job to monitor people's children. I do think you could have a conversation with like people who know that their viewership is young, like Jake Paul and James Charles, doing like shady illegal shit and like being bad influences to children and like coercing them into like spending their money on all your merch. But at the same time, it is parents' job to parent their children. It's not Nikocado's job to watch people's children or to like be a good role model for children. He's literally eating fucking food on the internet. It's not that deep. Also, interestingly, Nikocado says, I don't know if this is true or not, but he says that a lot of people watch his videos because like they have their own eating issues. And so instead of binge eating themselves or like going to McDonald's at 3 o'clock in the morning, they'll watch a Nikocado Avocado video and it's like you watch him eat for you and like that helps them. Again, I don't know if that's true, but an interesting concept. If you do that, I would love to hear down below about that. I don't watch mukbang videos because like, I also personally find them gross, but like I do this wild thing where I just like, I don't click on them. I know. It's really hard for people on YouTube to understand that concept, I know. But let's move on to Reifenstein because she said it with her whole chest. She made a video called Monetizing Your Demise about Nikocado Avocado, which like, okay girl, I understand clickbait's important, but I also think that she literally thinks that Nikocado Avocado is Sorry, I have cats. My cats are being a menace, I'm very sorry. And by cats, I just mean a singular cat. What? And like, here's the thing. I think we all literally just had this conversation about Eugenia Cooney because basically Reifenstein talks about why YouTube hasn't deplatformed Nikocado Avocado, and we'll go into the reasons why in a second, but it's giving big Eugenia Cooney vibes. Like, first of all, let's stop trying to deplatform people based on what their bodies look like because none of you are fucking doctors. And second of all, like, they're like, why are we trying to, here's my thing. Why are we trying to deplatform people like Nikocado Avocado and Eugenia Cooney when like James Charles and David Dobrik still have platforms? Literal people who should be on an episode of Law & Order SVU still have platforms and make millions of dollars, but we're concerned about a guy eating cheeseburgers. Like, there are literal criminals on this platform, but we're worried about a guy who eats too many cheeseburgers. So in some of Nick's recent videos, he has been talking about his disability. He like has to wear a sleep apnea machine. I'm pretty sure he like broke a rib. Like, he's dramatic. Like I think I mentioned earlier in this video, it's hard to wonder whether or not Nick Avocado is like playing a character or he's being a troll, because in another beef he had, he actually admitted to owning the sleep apnea machine before he said he had a disability. Like, he had it before, and now he's just using it in thumbnails to be like a clickbaity troll, which, like, I mean, if it's working for him, it's working for him. And again, if you want to make a video critiquing, I'm so sorry, cats. If you want to make a video critiquing Nick Avocado, like, as a human and, like, saying, like, what he's doing is shady, I'm all for it. But making a video just to deplatform him is fucked. So this is the reason she wants to deplatform him, because according to her, he is violating YouTube's terms of service because he's violating the nudity clause. Nikocado Avocado is clothed in all of his videos, by the way. But because his eating disorder that she claims he has could be seen as a fetish. Stretch Armstrong couldn't reach this far. So basically she's saying that what he's doing to his body, that his mukbangs is akin to an eating and humiliation fetish. She says she has no evidence of this and she can't be sure of it, but she's pretty sure that people watch his videos to watch him be humiliated and like to watch him because of the eating fetish. Although like I think if you're watching his content because you want the eating fetish stuff, you'd probably go to his OnlyFans where like he's naked and you can see all his bits and stuff, but like that's just my guess. Second of all, I just think like saying that because someone jerks it to your content does not mean that your content is nudity. There are girls on this channel or on this platform who do like bikini hauls. I've done like bra try-ons. There are plus size girls who do bra try-ons and bikini hauls, and like I'm sure there are some, let me tell you the comments I get on videos where I do hauls. They're not all PG and some of them are creepy, but that doesn't mean I'm violating the terms of service because some guy is being creepy, or woman, whoever. Like that's not violating the terms of service. You're reaching so hard. Then she moves on. She does talk briefly about how what he's doing is self-harm, but like he's literally eating. And again, the self-harm thing is akin to the eating disorder one she's going to talk about, is where you have to be promoting it. If someone showed up on YouTube and they had like marks on their arms because they self-harm themselves, we wouldn't be like, well, you should kick them off YouTube for that, unless they were telling their subscribers how to do that or why it's great. Then that's a conversation to be had. But just existing as a person who you believe is self-harming themselves because they have an eating disorder, like, is not reason enough to kick someone off the platform. And then she goes on to the eating disorder claim. She claims that he has a binge eating disorder, which, like, again, are we doctors? Who's a doctor? Because she says she's not a doctor, but she says that YouTube has collectively decided he has an ED. But like, again, who's a doctor that has decided this? Because like no one gets to decide that other than a doctor. We don't know what he eats outside of being on YouTube, first of all. And second of all, it's not your place to decide that. And third of all, let me read you what YouTube's policy says about EDs. Content violates the terms of service if it praises, glorifies, or encourages viewers to imitate Anna or other eating disorders. Okay, just like Eugenia Cooney, Nikocado Avocado is not encouraging his viewers to eat like him. He is not praising his eating. He is not glorifying his eating habits. He is just a dude doing mukbangs because people like to watch that content and he has seen that it gets him views. Are some people tuning in for the train wreck? Probably. But again, that does not violate the terms of service, and can we please stop deciding people have disorders when we are not medical doctors? Why is this hard? And like, let me go into my next point. Why is it that we are pushing so hard for Nikocado Avocado to be deplatformed? Do you want to know what the real truth is? You guys hate fat people. And I'm so sorry to have to break it to you, because it's like when you call a racist person racist, they're more upset about being called racist than being racist, and people who get called fatphobic are more upset about being called fatphobic than actually being fatphobic. But that is what it boils down to here, because no one is coming for other mukbangers. Where is the outrage for the skinny Asian girl mukbangers? Where is the outrage for competitive eaters like Matt Stoney, who is eating ridiculous amounts of food on his channel at all times? Do you want to know why nobody cares about these people? Let me give you a fucking hint. It's because they're not fat. And like, the fact that, like, sure, in Reifenstein's video, she made it very clear to, like, tiptoe around talking about Nikocado Avocado's weight, but when you're singling out one mukbanger and not the others, and there's one very fucking clear difference between them, it's very clear what the issue is. It's because he's fat. And, like, I'm just here to say, fuck off. Let fat people live their fucking lives. If he wants to eat 25 cheeseburgers on his channels, that's his fucking choice. Is it detrimental to his health? Maybe. But you know what? I bet you he knows that. Fat people don't not know they're fat. They don't need you to remind them, and they sure as fuck don't need you to try to deplatform them and take away their only way of living. Like, that will make them turn their lives around. This is the same shit with Eugenia Cooney. Everyone's like, oh, well, she has an ED, so, like, we should deplatform her because her mental health is so fucking fragile right now that, like, I'm sure taking away her only outlet to have talk to other people or make money would not severely impact her life in a negative way. And I'm sure the same would happen to Nikocado Avocado. And again, he's not hurting anyone but maybe himself. But again, fat people have every right to exist on this platform, on all platforms, and if you start deplatforming Nikocado Avocado because you don't like the way his body looks, you are creating another slippery slope, just like we talked about with Eugenia Cooney, where people who are in larger bodies are going to be hurt by this. What happens to girls who are size 18, 20, 22, who are doing try-on hauls and you can see their skin? Are they promoting obesity? What happens to other fat mukbangers? What happens to fat vloggers? What happens to all the body positive people who are talking about how you should love yourself at any size? Are they promoting obesity? Because a lot of people do have that rhetoric and they do say that shit. And when you start cutting down on certain people because you don't like the way their body looks, you're creating a slippery slope and you're creating a double standard, and it's pretty fucked up if you ask me. Like, I'm so sorry, but Nikocado Avocado is just living his life. Is he a troll? Is he kind of problematic? Is he kind of obnoxious? Yes, but just, like, don't watch his videos. Like, he's not, I don't believe that, like, also the whole, like, promoting obesity thing is so funny to me because, like, we live in the most fat-phobic society on earth, and it's wild to think that, like, anyone would want to be fat. Like, Nikocado Avocado keeps getting compared, like, everyone shows, like, what he looked like before, what he looked like now, even though he has talked about how in his before, when he was vegan and he was thin, that he was unhealthy and he was starving himself, but people don't fucking care because as long as you lose weight, they think you look good because that's the society we live in. Nobody actually cares about health. They care about fitness versus fatness, and fitness is preferred. So the idea that anything could ever promote obesity is ridiculous. Like, literally fat girls trying to accept their bodies and feel comfortable is seen as an attack on fucking society. But sure, he's promoting obesity. Like, where are the videos on Stephanie So? Where are the videos on Matt Stoney? Where are the videos on every other mukbanger ever? Like, it's just so ridiculous to me that people always go for Nikocado Avocado, and it's because he went from thin to larger, and because he makes jokes about it. He has his, like, I identify as skinny merch, and he has his, like, I don't believe in salads merch. But if a skinny girl had that merch, it'd be so funny. The girlies would eat it up, but because he's fat, we hate it. And that's because we live in a fat-phobic society. And I know it's, like, so hard for people to look at themselves and understand that, but that's the way the world works, and I'm so sorry that you may be fat-phobic, but, like, that's not my problem, and it's not Nikocado Avocado's problem, and you should probably, like, address that within yourself and, like, work to, like, unlearn that. Because, like, it's not your fault. I get it. You grew up in a fat-phobic society. We also grew up in a racist society, and we have, many of us have learned that we, like, need to unlearn some of this shit, and you also need to unlearn your fat phobia. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Like, I just think, like, in general, we need to stop talking about people's bodies when they're not your fucking body. Whether it's skinny or fat, shut up about it. Especially skinny people. Because if I see another fucking skinny person critiquing Nikocado Avocado for being fat, I'm gonna fucking lose it. I am on the bridge of mid-size plus size because I know what it's like to be called fat on the internet. It's just a joy. I can only imagine what Nikocado goes through. And it's just like, people only call him fat because they saw where he came from. And they're like, oh, he's fatter than before, so he's, like, huge. Like, even Ethan from H3, who was, like, a chunkier guy, was like, oh, Nikocado was, like, giant. And he, like, made this hand signal. And it's like, bruh, You are also a dude who struggles with your weight. Literally, I watched the most recent episode of Families where his mother told him she cared more about what he looked like than his fucking mental health because his Lexapro made him gain weight, and I wanted to choke her through the screen. And it's just like, that's the thing. Even fat people have internalized fat phobia. Like, we really all need to work to understand that, like, look at a situation and ask yourself, if a skinny person did this, would society or you yourself react the same way? And if the answer is no, then the reason you feel that way or society feels that way is because of fat phobia. And again, I just think, like, why are we pushing to deplatform Nikocado Avocado when there are literal criminals on this app? And also, like, just let this man live. He's not hurting anyone. He understands that he's fat. He understands what he's doing to his body. He's not fucking stupid. And those are his choices to make. And, like, sure, maybe he has an ED, but, like, why are we kicking people off the platforms for literally having mental health disorders? Even if he does have an ED, okay, so you want to remove someone for having a mental health disorder? That seems like a little bit anti-mental health. Are you going to remove everyone with depression who talks about depression? What about everyone who has anxiety? What about everyone who has any other mental health disorder? Like, where do you draw the line? I just think that this is fucking ridiculous, and it's steeped in fat phobia, and I'm so fucking over it. If you don't like mukbang channels, don't watch it. And again, you want to critique mukbang as a whole, is it being, like, fucking weird and, like, Nikocado as, like, being clickbaity? Go for it. But don't ever fucking talk about him promoting obesity. Don't ever fucking talk about just him alone and how him doing mukbangs is wrong, but not other people doing mukbangs is wrong. Like, where's the hate for everyone else? It's just, like, so clear to me why this is, and I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone because, like, does no one else see what this hate is for? Like, deplatforming him will not make him get healthy. It will not make him lose weight. Nikocado Avocado will only get healthy and lose weight when he wants to. That is something that he has to deal with, that any person dealing with any mental health struggle or personal struggle will only get help when they want to. And you, internet mob, attacking them is literally not helping, so just shut up. Okay, that is everything I have to say about this topic. I'm just, like, really over the hatred for Nikocado Avocado for, like, literally existing in a fat body. Like, literally everyone needs to calm the fuck down and leave him alone. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!